Discourse on Colonialism, written by Aimé Césaire and translated by Joan Pinkham. A Poetics of Anti-Colonialism by Robin D.G. Kelley. Narrated by J. Keith Jackson. Copyrighted in 1972 and 2000 by Monthly Review Press. This audiobook was recorded in arrangement with Monthly Review Press and was produced in the year 2019 by Echo Point Books and Media, LLC, which holds the copyright thereto. A Poetics of Anti-Colonialism. Robin D.G. Kelley. Aimé Césaire's Discourse on Colonialism might be best described as a declaration of war. I would almost call it a Third World Manifesto, but hesitate because it is primarily a polemic against the old order, bereft of the kind of propositions and proposals that generally accompany manifestos. Yet, Discourse speaks in revolutionary cadences, capturing the spirit of its age just as Marx and Engels did 102 years earlier in their little manifesto. First published in 1950 as Discourse sur le colonialisme, it appeared just as the old empires were on the verge of collapse, thanks in part to a world war against fascism that left Europe in material, spiritual, and philosophical shambles. Footnote: the first edition was published in 1950 by Éditions Réclame. A revised and expanded edition, published by Présence Africaine in 1955, was later translated and published by Monthly Review Press in 1972. End footnote. It was the age of decolonization and revolt in Africa, Asia, and Latin America. 5 years earlier, in 1945, black people from around the globe gathered in Manchester, England, for the 5th Pan-African Congress to discuss the freedom and future of Africa. 5 years later, in 1955, representatives from the non-aligned nations gathered in Bandung, Indonesia, to discuss the freedom and future of the Third World. Mao's revolution in China was a year old, while the Mau Mau in Kenya were just gearing up for an uprising against their colonial masters. The French encountered insurrections in Algeria, Tunisia, Morocco, Cameroon, and Madagascar, and suffered a humiliating defeat by the Viet Minh at Dien Bien Phu. Revolt was in the air. India, the Philippines, Guyana, Egypt, Guatemala, South Africa, Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, Harlem, you name it. Revolt. Malcolm X once described this extraordinary moment, this long decade from the end of the Second World War.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?